Hey, Falcons fans, listen up because what I'm about to drop on you is exactly what separates the real fans from the casual observers. We are at the midpoint of this season, and while everyone else is focused on the surface level narratives, I've got the inside scoop on what's really happening in Atlanta right now. And let me tell you something, there's a player on this roster who's absolutely dominating, putting up numbers that have the entire league taking notice. There's a rookie who came out of nowhere to become the steal of the draft. And yeah, we gotta talk about the elephant in the room, the guy who was supposed to be our number 2 weapon but has been, well, we'll get to that. But here's what nobody is discussing, and this is crucial. We're sitting at 3-5 right now, third in the NFC South, and the narrative around this team is all wrong. The talking heads on ESPN, they don't get it. They're not watching the film like I am. They're not seeing what's actually building here. Because while everyone's writing us off, there's something brewing in Atlanta that's about to catch the entire NFL off guard. Stick with me for the next few minutes because I'm about to break down exactly what's happening with your Atlanta Falcons at the mid-season mark. But before we dive into this explosive breakdown, if you're tired of the mainstream media getting it wrong about our Falcons, then do this right now. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell because you're about to become part of the 1% who truly understand what's happening in Atlanta. This is your moment to join the most informed Falcons fan base on the planet. Don't miss a single breakdown. Let's rise up together. All right, let's start with the obvious, and I mean obvious choice for team MVP. There's no debate here. Falcons fam 0. None. Nada. Bijan Robinson is not just playing good football. He's not just having a solid season. This man is playing at an elite level that puts him in conversation with the best running backs in the entire NFL right now. Let me hit you with some numbers that'll blow your mind. 595 rushing yards on 5.0 yards per carry through 9 games. 2 rushing touchdowns. But wait, because that's only half the story. This man has 41 receptions for 463 receiving yards and 2 more touchdowns through the air. Do you understand what that means? Bijan Robinson is second on the team in receiving yards. Only Drake London has more catches and yards receiving than our running back. Think about that for a second. We've got a running back who's not just running between the tackles. He's not just catching checkdowns out of the backfield. No. This dude is lining up wide, running actual routes, creating mismatches against linebackers and safeties who have no answer for his combination of power, speed, and route running ability. I've been watching this league for years, and I'm telling you right now, there are maybe 5 running backs in the NFL who can do what Bijan Robinson is doing for us right now. 5! And you know what's crazy? He's only 23 years old. This kid is just scratching the surface of his potential. Every single week, this man showcases that rare blend of power, balance, and vision that made him a top 10 pick back in 2023. And for an offense that's still growing and developing under Michael Penix Jr., Bijan Robinson has been the heartbeat, the one constant driving Atlanta's success. When the blocking breaks down, he makes guys miss. When we need a big play in the passing game, he's running a route tree that would make some wide receivers jealous. When we need tough yards on third and short, he's lowering his shoulder and moving the chains. This isn't just about statistics, Falcons Nation. This is about having a player who refuses to let the offense fail. Every game plan starts with number 7. Every defensive coordinator in the league has to account for him on every single snap. And here's what gets me fired up, we're just getting started with this offense. As Penix continues to develop, as the offensive line continues to gel, Bijan Robinson is going to put up numbers that'll have him in the MVP conversation for years to come. So when I say team MVP, I'm not just talking about the Falcons. I'm talking about a player who should be getting national recognition as one of the most complete offensive weapons in football. That's Bijan Robinson, and if you're not appreciating what we're watching right now, you're missing out on something special. Now, let's talk about the 2025 draft class because this is where things get really interesting. Going into the draft, the Falcons only had 5 picks. 5! We didn't have a massive draft haul. We didn't have a bunch of first and second rounders. But you know what we did have? We had Terry Fontenot and this front office making chess moves while everyone else was playing checkers. The spotlight coming into this season was all on Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. Those were the names everyone was talking about. Those were the rookies who were supposed to make immediate impacts. And don't get me wrong, Walker just had a monster game against New England with 2 sacks and a forced fumble. But there's a name that nobody was talking about in the preseason that has become the absolute crown jewel of this draft class. Xavier Watts, ladies and gentlemen. 3rd round, 96th overall, out of Notre Dame. And this dude is playing like a veteran in his first NFL season. Let me break down what this young man has done through 8 games because these numbers are ridiculous for a rookie safety. 2 interceptions. But here's where it gets crazy. He's allowed just 9 catches on 12 targets for only 123 yards. That's a 75% completion rate against him, and teams are only averaging 13.7 yards per completion. But wait, it gets better. Over the past 3 weeks, Xavier Watts has been nearly flawless in coverage. 1 reception allowed. 1 on 2 targets for just 4 yards. Do you understand how insane that is for a 3rd-round rookie? This man is playing like a Pro Bowler in his first season. And it's not just coverage, Falcons Nation. This dude is lining up everywhere. He's playing free safety deep. He's coming down in the box. He's covering slot receivers in nickel packages. His versatility is off the charts. You know what Xavier Watts was at Notre Dame? A 2-time unanimous All-American in his final 2 seasons. That means every single voter agreed he was the best at his position in college football. And he's brought that same level of discipline, instincts, and playmaking ability to the NFL. Here's what I love about this pick. While other teams were reaching for names in the 2nd round, the Falcons sat back, stayed patient, and grabbed a player with elite instincts and football IQ at tremendous value in the 3rd round. This is the kind of pick that franchise defenses are built on. Think about all the great secondaries in NFL history. They had that one guy who was the quarterback of the defense, who could read routes, anticipate throws, and always be in the right position. Xavier Watts is developing into that guy for us. And the scary part? He's only going to get better as he gets more experience in this league. This man is studying film, he's learning the nuances of NFL offenses, and he's already playing with the kind of confidence that usually takes years to develop. So while everyone was hyping up other picks, Terry Fontenot quietly found us a potential All-Pro safety in the 3rd round. That's how you build a championship roster, Falcons Nation. That's how you find value and develop talent. Xavier Watts is not just the best draft pick for the Falcons at midseason, he might be one of the best draft picks in the entire 2025 class. And we got him at 96. That's robbery. All right, Falcons Nation, we've talked about the highs, we've celebrated the players who are balling out, but now we gotta keep it real. We gotta talk about the elephant in the room. We gotta address the most disappointing player at midseason. And look, this hurts me to say because I was high on this guy coming into the season. I thought he was going to be that perfect complement to Drake London. But the numbers don't lie, and the film doesn't lie. Darnell Mooney, man, what happened? Last year, this dude put up 992 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns. He was productive. He was a legitimate weapon. Coming into 2025, everyone expected him to be that dependable number 2 option opposite Drake London. Instead, through 6 games, Mooney has just 12 receptions for 173 yards. He's catching less than half of his targets. Let that sink in. Less than 50% catch rate for a veteran receiver. The one bright spot, and I use the term very loosely, was Week 7 against San Francisco when he caught 3 passes for 68 yards. Cool. One decent game. But since then, 15 yards against Washington, 11 against Miami, 15 against New England. Those are numbers you expect from a practice squad guy, not your starting number 2 receiver. And here's what frustrates me, Falcons Nation, Mooney's entire game is built on speed and separation. That's his thing. He's supposed to stretch defenses vertically, create one-on-one opportunities, and give Michael Penix Jr. that deep threat option. But it's not happening. The chemistry isn't there. The timing is OFF. The route precision hasn't been consistent. And defenses aren't even worried about him anymore. Think about what that does to an offense. When your number 2 receiver isn't a threat, defenses can bracket Drake London all game long. They can put a safety over the top, squeeze coverage underneath, and take away our best weapon. Now, I'm not here to just bash the guy, okay? Football is hard. Developing chemistry with a young quarterback takes time. But at some point, you gotta make plays. You gotta create separation. You gotta give your QB a target he can trust. And right now, at the midseason mark, that trust isn't there. The production isn't there. And for a player who's supposed to be a key piece of this offense, that's disappointing. So here's the bottom line, Falcons Nation. At the midseason mark, we've got an MVP caliber running back in Bijan Robinson who's carrying this offense on his back. We've got a steal of a draft pick in Xavier Watts who's playing like a veteran in his first season. And yes, we've got some disappointments like Darnell Mooney that need to be addressed. But this team is not out of it. The season is not over. We're heading into the most important stretch of the year, and this is where we find out what kind of team we really are. Are we going to fold? Or are we going to fight? I know what I believe. I believe in this roster. I believe in this coaching staff. And I believe that when we put it all together, when that third down offense clicks, when the running game gets rolling, when the defense continues to make plays, we're going to be a problem for everyone in the NFC South. So to all the doubters, to all the haters, to everyone writing us off, watch. Just watch what happens in the second half. Because Falcons Nation doesn't quit. We don't fold. We rise up. Let me know in the comments what you think about these mid-season awards. Do you agree with my MVP pick? Are you as hyped about Xavier Watts as I am? And what do you think Darnell Mooney needs to do to turn things around? Drop those comments below, hit that subscribe button, and let's ride with this team through the second half of the season. Go Falcons!